Hey everyone, Robert here, author of Expansion Mastery, The Practical Guide to Living a Fully Engaged Life. Are you ready to start living life to the fullest? Are you ready and willing to transform yourself and your life from ordinary to extraordinary? Well, welcome my friends to the 250th episode of The Fully Engaged Life. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Can you believe it? 250 episodes of The Fully Engaged Life. It has been incredible. And we are continuing the journey. We are going to continue with this episode covering the 14th of the challenges in my book, Expansion Mastery. This particular challenge is going to be the first challenge in the esoteric section of the earth level. So in all, it's a 14th practice, and it is the fifth practice in the earth level. And if you recall, just like with the heaven level, each level is split into two sections. The exoteric section has 4 practices, and the esoteric section has 5 practices. So this is the first challenge or practice in the esoteric section of the earth level. And this is one of the things that we're going to work on to develop a sense of mindfulness. So the first challenge here is connecting to the earth. And this is another Qigong practice. So if you notice, the exoteric section, those first 4 practices in the earth level, had to do with physical positioning to get more in touch with the earth itself and the electromagnetic field of the earth. It had more to do with practical adjustments that we can make to our lifestyle to become more earth-friendly, more earth-wise. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start to work with things that are a little deeper to help us connect yet even more deeply to the earth. So this first practice is another Qigong exercise where we are working with our vital life force, our internal energy. And again, keep an open mind and go into the practice and notice if it helps you. It takes time for this. You have to train a little bit. It takes levels of relaxation and other things that I described in the Qigong practices from the heaven level. So make sure that you've gone through those first. This particular Qigong exercise is designed to help us connect more deeply to the planet, and we're going to use some visualization in order to connect to the very core of the planet. So this is an exercise that allows us to root and ground our energy in a way that connects us to the earth. And it brings up this very nurturing type of energy into our body, and it's very, very calming, helps us to become more calm, centered, relaxed, focused. So it's a very nice type of energy that allows us to just be calm and relaxed. And this can be extremely helpful and offer us health benefits as well. One of the things this really helps with, it's kind of a better version than just making fists with your toes in the carpet after you've been flying, but this works really well for jet lag, is to be able to use this particular practice to connect with the Earth's electromagnetic field so that you get the natural rhythm. It sets your rhythm back to that of the planet, and it gets you over that feeling of jet lag. So this is a really good exercise for that as well. Now in the book I gave several examples of additional ways that you can connect to the earth more directly, particularly getting closer to the electromagnetic field. The kneeling posture, which was the first practice in the exoteric section of the earth level, was one way to begin doing that. Another way is to actually lie on the ground. Go out and lay in the grass, right? Look up at the sky, things like that. Actually putting your spine, the back of your neck, the back of the lumbar, the Ming Men point on the ground, actually getting in touch with and getting as close to the ground as you can. Sleeping on the floor, like sleeping on a Japanese-style futon, not with a frame, but actually on the floor. This is another great way to do that. So the idea is the closer you are to the ground, the more energy you are able to draw into yourself. So it's good to be able to do these sorts of things and help yourself to come down after a hectic day where you have a lot of stress, or you've just been running all over the place all day, running errands and putting out little fires and all of this kind of stuff. Maybe your mind's just scattered. Maybe your head's spinning. This is a way to bring all that back down and have a sense of calm focus. And as far as Qigong practices go, this is a pretty simple one. It's very easy. The stuff that works the best is always the least complicated. So that's what's most natural. So this is very easy, simple to use, easy to interact with, and very, very effective. All right, so the way we begin this particular Qigong exercise is to find somewhere to stand. Now, if you can do it barefoot outside somewhere on the grass, not on concrete or anything like that, but on the sand, on the beach, or on the grass or dirt or whatever, that is going to be the absolute best. You want to avoid wearing athletic shoes, tennis shoes, because that really thick rubber sole actually dampens your connection. It acts as a buffer, a barrier between the electromagnetic field of the planet and yours. So the last thing you want to do is do any of this stuff wearing tennis shoes. I don't recommend it with any shoes, but if you have a real thin hard sole shoes, or real thin like a kung fu shoe or something like that, you can get away with it. But nothing's going to beat barefoot, period. That's the best way you can do this. All right, so you find somewhere that you can stand where you're not going to be interrupted, and make sure that the weather's pleasant enough for you to focus on the exercise so you're not distracted. And then what we're going to do is start to incorporate the silver strand. Remember that practice from the earlier heaven section? That's what we're going to use to start this particular exercise. Okay, so take a moment and incorporate that silver strand, get your alignments in place. Make sure that you feel that strand lifting so it feels kind of like your head is suspended there, floating on top of the neck. Now you're going to begin a slight, very gentle movement from side to side. And as always, make sure that your personal physician allows you to do these sort of practices. So you're going to gently and very easily, very slowly begin to shift your weight from being double weighted onto your right leg. And when you push your weight over onto your right leg, you're going to begin by allowing that to go back on the heel, pushing against the ground a little bit. Okay, so you're pushing against the ground with your left foot to put your body weight over on the right. You're going to do this very mindfully, and you're going to feel that pressure on the heel initially. Now, when you do this, the left foot is going to be pushing against the ground with the ball of the foot, and you want a little bit of pressure there, pushing on the ground, okay? And this will help open and activate the kidney 1 point. This is known as the bubbling well point in the bottom of the foot. It's located basically in the center of the ball of the foot, just a little bit back from that. It's between the second and third metatarsal bones of the foot. If you curl your toes a little bit, it'll make a small depression in the area of your sole, in this area of the kidney 1 point, and this can help you locate it. Okay. Then what you're going to do is you're going to allow the left foot to set back down fully on the ground, and you're going to transfer your weight now from the right side to the left side. So you're going to do the same thing. You're going to use your right foot to push your weight over onto your left foot, and you're going to push the right foot against the ground to help move you with that ball of the foot, the kidney 1 point area, and you're going to go onto the heel of the other foot. Now, when you're going onto the heel of the other foot, the entire foot is on the ground, but you've got a little bit more pressure towards the heel at this point. And what we're trying to do is just open the pathways a little bit for this energy to flow up into our legs. So we have a little bit of movement. We shift our body weight. So we loosen up the psoas muscle. We relax the leg muscles a little bit. We get the tendons moving. We get to open up these points in the bottom of our feet. And this is what we're doing in order to prepare to allow the energy to flow more freely up and down through our legs. And you just keep shifting back and forth from side to side this way. Very, very slow, very easy, forming a relaxed, natural rhythm. Try not to think too much about it. Just relax, let go, and allow yourself to feel the movement and be guided by that feeling. You want to start to place your mental awareness under your feet. And as you do this, you'll know if it starts to work because you'll feel the energy in a sense that will feel a little bit like you're stretching taffy, like you have taffy stuck to the ground into the bottom of your foot, and when you shift onto the weight onto the other leg, it stretches that taffy underneath your foot a little bit. So you're just wanting, it's very subtle, but if you pay attention, you get to feel this sensation. And that's part of what a Qigong exercise is about. Focuses a lot on a particular breathing, and it focuses on the ability to feel this vital energy or Qi. So as you do this, you're going to relax very easily and continue breathing through the abdomen as you do this exercise. Very relaxed, deep breaths, and I would also recommend coordinating your breath with the movement as long as you don't have to focus too much mental energy on the breath, because you want the breath to be relaxed and natural, not forced. But you may notice as you're adjusting your weight from side to side that your breath rhythm tends to come in balance with your actual movement rhythm. So you can do that for as long as you like. It's wonderful as a warm-up just to loosen everything up, get the blood flowing nice in the lower body and things like that. So maybe 5 minutes, if it's feeling good, you're really getting into it, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever you like, really. There's no time restriction on this. You just don't want your legs to become tired. You don't want those muscles to become fatigued at all. So as long as you're not doing that, because this isn't a physical workout exercise, it's an internal energetic exercise. So we don't want that tension creeping in. We want to loosen up that lower body. Once you do that, then you're going to return your positioning to have the weight evenly distributed between your feet. So this is where you are double weighted again. Okay, then you're going to extend your mental awareness down underneath your feet, and you're just going to stand and feel the ground beneath your feet. And then what you want to do is try to visualize yourself being directly plugged into, connected to the earth, the ground beneath your feet. And what you want to do is allow your mental awareness to very gradually try to sink down into the ground underneath your feet. This can be done with visualization, but the more important thing is your intention. You have to exert a little bit of intention to push that mental awareness down outside of your body, down into the ground. And usually when you do this, it can be very difficult. So you have to practice a little bit, but then you'll get to where you can extend it a few inches below your feet and maybe 6 inches and then maybe a foot, right? To think that we can just go all the way down, 6 feet or something right off of the bat, that's really not how it works. That's not realistic. Getting our mind to extend downward out of our body into the ground takes some practice. So be patient and enjoy. Just allow yourself to relax and put your awareness down there and just see what happens. See if you can get it to go a little further. Ideally, what we'd like is to be about 3 body lengths into the ground. So if we just use being 6 feet as a unit of measurement here, you're looking at about 18 feet or so beneath you. That is quite an accomplishment if you can get that. And then from there, once you've done something like that very close, what you want to do is you're going to use a little more visualization here, and you're going to keep that feeling of sinking into the ground. And it may even feel like your feet are sinking, like you're in mud or something, even though that's really not happening. That's good. That's a good indication that the energy is coming up, that you're connected. And here again, I recommend that as you're standing here in this position doing this, you should have your knees slightly bent. Your knees are never locked. And you want to make sure that your body weight has rocked forward onto the balls of the feet ever so slightly. The heels are not off of the ground, but they're just kind of lightly floating there on the ground, and you can feel far more pressure on the balls of your feet. This opens those kidney 1 points by putting that kind of pressure on them. So this is very helpful. Just make sure that if you close your eyes, you don't lose your balance, because that can happen sometimes, especially for older people. So be very careful, and you don't have to have your eyes closed with this, although it helps if you're going to visualize something. So you need to assess for yourself what you are capable of. If you can visualize it with your eyes closed and you're stable in that position with your eyes closed, great. Just be careful that you don't lose your balance and fall, because that can happen. So then once we can do this, what we're going to do is use that mental awareness, that visualization of extending our sense of awareness and connection all the way to the core of the earth. And we just want to take a moment and hold that position and think about if roots were growing right out of our feet to connect us to the ground. Now, there's a physical way to see if you're doing this, because if your weight is forward and you are really starting to sink your weight, sink your energy, the metatarsals in the feet will start to spread out. In other words, your feet will physically start to spread out to the sides a little bit, as if they're being squished into the ground. That's a sign that you have successfully rooted. Grounding is the energetic aspect that's going to assist this. So that's what's coming in with the visualization and the energy between our feet and the planet. So we want this exchange happening. And again, you are striving to feel this energy exchange. You want to feel this sense of nurturing energy. You want to feel all the energy from your head and your chest just kind of sinking down through the body. Feel how mentally you get to relax, physically you get to relax. And you're just sending all of that energy down into the earth, and the earth is bringing this nurturing energy up into your legs to your lower center, the dantian. So you may feel some twinges in that area below the belly button a little bit as well. And then you hold this position. You just relax as much as you can. Attempt to feel this energy. And the more you relax, the more you will be capable of feeling the exchange of energy. Now, don't be discouraged if you don't feel anything the first time you do this. Don't be discouraged if it takes you several times before you start to feel anything. Everything needs to line up very well. You need to relax appropriately. There are a lot of factors involved, so this is why it's a practice, right? Because we need to practice to be good enough to actually make something happen. Just because we use the imagination doesn't make it real. So please be careful of that. Be careful of that idea with any form of Qigong exercise, because a lot of times people end up taking what they create in their imagination to be reality, and that ends with a delusional based belief, and we want to avoid that. So I caution you against that. But you can engage this practice for as long as you like. If it's feeling good and you're just feeling really grounded and nice, or you're making some headway with it, take as long as you like. Some of you, this may take a little while to get. Some of you may get it very quickly. Everyone's experience with this sort of practice is unique onto them. Some indicators that you've done it long enough is if the legs start to become tired, or your back starts to become tired, or your neck. If you start to feel any physical fatigue from standing, or if standing is a challenge to you, then go for short periods of time. And when you feel any sign of physical fatigue, that's a good sign to stop, because once the muscles start to become overly activated, it starts to dampen your ability to have the energy flowing freely, and it surely prohibits your ability to feel it, because all you feel is the discomfort. Another tip that I would recommend is, once you have both feet on the ground and you're engaging this practice, is to make sure that your breath comes into coordination with the exercises. So when you're breathing up, you want to think about this energy rising from the earth and eventually the very core of the planet. So you're feeling that strong and stable and rooted, and you feel that energy coming up, filling your body. And then you can, when you exhale, feel all of that excess chi locked in your head and your chest and such, dropping down through your body, and you're pushing it all the way down to the core of the planet. So remember, two of the most important factors in a Qigong practice is about coordinating the breath with the movement and breathing properly, and at the same time making sure that we relax more and more and more. And when you feel that you're relaxed enough, realize that that's not the case. You need to relax even more. And while you're doing that, the process will start to engage. So you want to make sure that you're continuing to breathe through the abdomen with this as well. Another tip I would recommend would be to very lightly place your tongue up against the front palate above your front teeth. And there you have it. You'll know if it's working if you start to feel more mentally and physically relaxed. You feel a sense of being grounded, right? Today it's very easy for us to feel a little spacey sometimes. You might feel a little lightheaded, maybe hard to focus, maybe difficult to concentrate, whatever it is. This will help with that. So this helps you ground. It stabilizes you. And remember, the higher we ever want to reach with an exercise, the deeper we need to be rooted. So this is a real fundamental practice. Whenever you engage anything like Tai Chi or Qigong or Bagua or Xingyi, this is one of the exercises that is taught in the beginning, is we are taught how to ground and root ourselves properly. Pretty easy. Give it a shot. See what you think. See if you enjoy this exercise as much as I do. I have had tremendous results with this. I use it constantly, and it took me a little while. It took me 2-3 months to really start to feel something and engage it back when I first began. But then the feeling just intensifies more and more, and you're able to connect quicker, and you're able to connect more deeply quicker as well once you get used to it. So be patient. Give yourself a little time to actually practice it and work with it and make sure that it offers you those same kind of results that I've attained with it. There you have it, episode 250. Please make sure and support us by visiting the website, www.expansionmastery.com. Check out that new website. You can go get an autographed copy of Expansion Mastery. You can get the newly revised and expanded ebook, Reinventing Yourself Through Realignment. And very, very soon you will be able to go there and get the first module of the Breathing Mastery program. That program is going to contain 7 modules at this point in time. So make sure you're watching for those. And please support us on social media. Help us out. Make sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the likes and all of that kind of stuff that you have to do. That just offers us support, keeps us on the different podcast channels, and that way we can reach more people. And as always, it's a team up between you and I to share this material so we can get actual real practices presented to all of the people that need them and desire them. Together we can make a difference, and we can assist this consciousness shift. Until next time, my friends, I wish you the very best in all of your practices, all of these practices from Expansion Mastery, and your life. Take care.